I was ready by 4 AM and by 5:30 the receptionist had us call a taxi for the bus terminal. Since we were headed for Sokcho, a small coastal city, we had to take a bus from the intercity terminal instead of the express terminal. There's two types of bus terminals here in Korea. One is express, one is intercity. So the difference between intercity buses and express buses is that express buses usually depart from Seoul and is a direct bus, so there are no stops. Don't get confused when you go to Korea because there are two types of bus terminals. Being a kanchong Singaporean, I bought my tickets the day before and we arrived too early for our 6:30 bus to Sokcho. Buses are super punctual and exactly at 6:30, we were already departing the berth. The ride lasted a little over 2 hours, in which I spent the time enjoying the scenery and sleeping. By 9+, we left our luggage at Hotel Marymount's and got help from the receptionist in navigating Sokcho. We called for a taxi to take us to Abai village, a tiny village populated by North Korean elderly who fled here during the Korean War. It was also a filming location for the drama Autumn in My Heart. The drama was really sad, hence the soundtrack. The place was also famous for Abai Sundae. It's like we're going back in time because the village is really, the architecture of the village reminds us a lot of Korea in the 1970s. As you can see, it's very quaint and everything is very small. And I think the buildings are no more than maybe 3 stories in height. Since it was so early, the place was very empty, so we decided to head to downtown Sokcho, which was accessible via a KTO, a manually operated raft. To move the raft, passengers had to pull a cable extended across the channel with special handheld hooks. The boat can normally fit up to 35 people, and even though the boat was a little empty in the morning, it was heavy trying to pull the boat along. But becoming his assistant really made me happy. Then we headed to Sokcho Central Market. After seeing more vegetables and seafood, both fresh and dried, we took a taxi to Tofu Village to try a restaurant featured in this book. Kim Yong-ae Harmony Sundubu restaurant, which has been around for almost 50 years. After removing our shoes, I realized that there was only one item on their menu. T-O-F-U, tofu! As this was my first full Korean meal, the lady taught us the method of eating the tofu with the side dishes and also the way tofu was made. 기계로 만들어서 손? 직접 만들어서? 네. 감사합니다. 네, 맛있게 드세요. 잘 먹겠습니다. 네. After the healthy meal, we headed to Sorak Cinerama, another filming location, kindly led by this lady from the restaurant. It was where KBS dramas such as Tae Jo-young and Hong Gil-dong were recorded. The area spanned 22 hectares and I couldn't help thinking that it was a great place to play hide and seek. But I enjoyed walking around this area the most because I felt like I was really travelling back in time. After playing this traditional game, at which I'm obviously an expert at, I was impressed by this model of a massive 18-meter Tang Dynasty palace, and hiding behind it is a quiet garden with a pond, waterfall and pavilions. Just walking around made me feel like a Korean princess. We then reached the village waterway, where there were several types of bridges that captured the architecture of several time periods. Being amongst the trees and mountains in the distance really made me want to go to Sorak-san. So we took the taxi and off we went!